Morning, you guys. I am getting ready to go to my last class until fall semester, but it's not entirely a class, it's just an in-person review session for my intro to marketing class. I'm back from that class. My last class was spring semester. It was really just like a review. So she kind of just like went over all of the she didn't really review. She just told us all of the topics that are gonna be on final, and then like we write those down and then we have to kind of review the notes on our own. Welcome to my finals week. Okay, let me let you guys know the agenda, what's going on, the plan, the studying plan. Today is Tuesday. I have 2 final exams on Thursday, 15 pages of a script due on Friday, and I have an 1,000-word essay due on Monday. So that's all of my final exams and assignments. It doesn't feel like a lot of work. I feel like it's really mellow, nothing too crazy, as long as I'm staying ahead of it and I'm not waiting to do everything at the last minute. I have my to-do list in my Notion, which is like, it's literally just like check boxes that I check off just to remind me to make sure that everything is done. It's already like 2 o'clock, okay? And I probably will be taking a break tonight. Like I have some basketball games that I need to watch tonight, either the NBA or the WNBA. So like, yes, I'm trying to be a studious student, but also I need to live my life a little bit, and these basketball games have to be watched. The goal is to hopefully get a lot of stuff done before that. I have to make my study guide for my intro to computers class. That has basically already, I mean, I'll show you guys my study guide and everything, but I've kind of already started my study guide. I just need to add, I think, a few more notes to that, and then that one will be complete. And then I need to start making my study guide for my principles of marketing class and hopefully finish that, but that one might take a little bit longer because that's like 4 chapters worth of textbook notes that I have to transfer into study guide. Those might be the 2 things that I want to tackle today. It's in the fridge so you guys can't see it, but as a reward, for doing the bare minimum, I bought myself bubble tea, but I put it in the fridge because I'm going to make sure that I don't let myself drink it until I finish my intro to computers study guide, and then at least get 3/4 of the way through my principles of marketing study guide. A rundown of my intro to computers class. We went over all the Microsoft Office platforms, so Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Access. And she says that this final exam is gonna be like not super cumulative. I always struggle with that. It's gonna be majority Access since we've already had a test on Excel and Word, but she says she still might sprinkle in some Excel and Word questions in there. Here's the study guide that I have so far. It's 3 pages where I just took the information from. She posted class notes, luckily, because this was a class where it's like you weren't really taking notes in the class. It was more so doing stuff from the textbook. She was like explaining things because it was like Access or Excel. Like we had to do the things in Excel, so it's like it wasn't time to take notes, so she would always upload the notes after class, which was helpful. So basically I just copied down all the notes that she took into a shorter, more coherent way that I can kind of understand. It's just easier for me to study this way because I can like pick up the bolded items that like are terms that I really need to know. This is the only exam where I need memorization. My Principles of Marketing final exam is online, not like in person. Like I don't have to go into a classroom, so it's open note. The way that I prepare for that test will be like completely different and so much easier than preparing for a test that I need to actually like have this stuff memorized. I genuinely think non-open note tests are one of the dumbest things ever in college, okay? High school, whatever. I don't know, like whatever. But I think also like dependent on certain majors, like yes, maybe a lawyer or, you know, somebody in a medical field needs to memorize where someone's vertebrae are so that they're not killing people. This is a class on learning how to use Excel, Microsoft Word, and Access. I don't think there's ever gonna be a point in time where I need to memorize these applications. If the test was like, doing a project and then like we had to know and like show that we know how to utilize the applications, I feel like that would make more sense. But like me having to memorize what a split form is like by its definition just seems a little bit crazy to me. But you know what? I'm gonna just put my hands up and do what I'm told. It's now 4:20. I just finished making pretty much my study guide for my computers class, being 5 pages long. I think I'm just gonna like take a rest on that for today. Now we'll move on to making my marketing study guide. So basically, here's what I typed up in class. She was literally talking, like she was talking so fast, and she was just saying a bunch of like key terms, buzzwords, concepts that we should know from each chapter that it'll be tested on. This one also isn't going to be it's that word. Cumulative. This one also isn't going to be cumulative. It's only going to be from like nothing that we did in the midterm is going to be on this exam, just the last, I believe, 4 chapters. I basically have to just go into the textbook, organize it out, and type up all of the information. This is the study guide that I did for my midterm, which was super helpful, just having it all organized by chapter. And then I put like chapters 1 through 5 up there, and then some color coding, but mostly just like bolding things. I write down a lot of information. Like this was an 8-page study guide, because that's why I call it more so an organization guide than a study guide, because since this is open note, I choose to write them in Google Docs, because then you could just press Command F if you have a Mac. I don't know what it is on Windows, but you would just have to search up the equivalent of Command. But you could press Command F on a Mac and search up keywords. Like that shit, like if you're given an open note exam online, then that is open noting. You know what I'm saying? Like I still went back and read the textbook. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't feel bad about it. Like I feel like it's just me knowing how to utilize assets in society, which again, we should be able to do, in my opinion. This is gonna take me a little bit longer because realistically after the midterm, this class was just a little bit interesting. Like it was a 9 a.m. class, and my teacher, she loved to go off topic, and she would go off topic for like 20 minutes. So a lot of time, like I tuned out, and then I just, in the beginning of the semester, like I would take notes in class, but then I realized like she was just repeating this stuff from the textbook, like the exact sentences. So I was like, I don't necessarily need to take notes in class. I could just like go home and like type up the textbook, which really that's a to each their own situation, because if I typed all the notes in class, then I wouldn't be here right now in this moment having to go back to the textbook and going over all these 4 chapters and writing down all the notes. But I don't necessarily mind doing that because it helps make sure all of the information is fresh in my head for the test on Thursday. It's been a full hour and I lied, okay? I lied about multiple things. I've just been on TikTok, okay? Because I fell down a little TikTok rabbit hole. I looked up just to go on. I don't even know the reason that I went on there in the first place, but I went on there, rabbit hole. And it's like, oh, I hate it. I love the aspect of TikTok. Like TikTok has some great quality stuff on there. Like obviously I'm on there because I like the stuff, but I just wish it wasn't such like a chronic addiction that I just don't understand how to work through. So anyways, that was the first lie. I wrote 2 words in my document and nothing else and nothing else. My second lie is that I'm just gonna drink this now, because maybe that'll get me going, okay? Maybe if I just start drinking this now, I'll finally get somewhere with this It'll give me some energy. And then my excuse, it was really just an excuse in my head because I was sitting here and I was like, do I drink it? Like I said, it was a prize. Like, do I drink it? Do I drink it? My excuse in my head is that it's already like 6 o'clock and I want to make dinner by 7 realistically. So I'm like, if I don't drink it now, like as a snack, I'm just not gonna drink it because I won't be hungry after I eat dinner, and it's like I won't be able to drink. That was the excuse. That was the excuse. Oh, that was a bad pop. In case you wanted to down my bubble tea order, same order every time. I tried to switch it up once, despised it. Honey green tea with no milk, boba, and lychee jelly. Yup. That'll do it. That'll do it. I got a lot done simply for the fact that I actually can't find my phone now. Like I got up for like a moment and then I'm pretty sure like I probably left it in the bathroom, but there's been 3 times, like I've been counting them. There's been 3 times I'm just sitting here and I've like tapped the side of my bed to pick up my phone for no reason, like hearing no buzz, hearing no text, no anything. I just tap my phone when my brain has a moment of pause. They're really gonna do studies about our brains. Like I think aliens really need to come down and do studies about our brains because I was really just thinking about that. The second my brain isn't trying to conceptualize knowledge or like take in the stuff in the textbook, or like the second my brain isn't thinking, my hand immediately is trying to go to my phone to like keep my brain stimulated. I'm terrified for the future of humanity. I feel like I made a good amount of progress. I have 4 pages done. But anyways, we're taking a break and I'm gonna go cook some dinner and I'm gonna go put on my basketball game. I'm dressed. It's rainy and it's raining all day, so no cute outfit. And honestly, last night I had wanted to go to my favorite cafe in Manhattan and do my cafe day there, but realistically, it's raining all day. It's probably gonna be cold. Like, it's just disgusting. Like, I'll probably just stay in Brooklyn and do something that's like a little bit closer, but I still need to go to a cafe because I just have to get it in there. Like, you guys know, you know the drill. Like, in order for me to feel like a semblance of productivity, like I just have to step foot in a cafe, which is actually like really annoying because like lattes, well, I don't drink lattes. I drink chai, but I drink chai, but even chai is not cheap. At least like to the places that I go. Like there is one place where like I've had a cheap chai that was like $4 and that was good because like I get oat milk and then that racks up the price. But you know, me stepping foot into a cafe is like already me down $8. Which feels so disrespectful, so beyond disrespectful, but you know what? I do what I gotta do because I do get a lot of work done when I step foot in a cafe. It's just something about me locking in the zone and everybody else is in the zone and I'm like, the vibes. I'm very much a vibes and ambiance person. So like when the vibes and ambiance are there, I'm less likely to pick up my phone when I'm at a cafe because I'm like, you know what? Nobody else is on their phone. It's now 2:20. I'm back home. I was at the cafe for 4 hours, which like 4 hours was a lot of time. I got a lot of stuff done, but I'm still not done with the study guide. It's just so, maybe like, remember when I was like before, how I was like, I wasn't taking notes in class and I just was gonna wait till the last minute to do it all. I should have just done it when it was time to do it because it's taking forever to do these 3 chapters because they're like 3 long chapters. It's finally time for me to take a break. Because I haven't eaten a meal yet today and it's 2:30. Like I had a little bit of like a probiotic smoothie, but that's kind of just been tiding me over. My butt was starting to hurt. My eyes were starting to hurt and I wasn't like retaining the information. You know, I'm gonna give myself an hour break. I'll get back into it at like 4 o'clock. I have some leftover chia pudding in this one. And then I also have chia pudding in this one. So I'll have some chia pudding and then I'll probably make something with like eggs. Hours later, it's currently 9:15 and I finally finished. I feel like you guys are already so much more studious than me. Okay, you're so much more organized. You're so much better students than me. And you're not waiting last minute to put all your notes into a document and you're probably taking notes as class is going on. So kudos to you, you know, keep doing that. If you're not doing that, you know, take me as an example of what not to do. Because I just spent so much time right before my final creating an 18-page document when realistically I could have been accumulating this over time as we've been reviewing the chapters in class. You know what? You live and you learn. Here she is, all 18 pages of principles of marketing, or well, like the second half. But I am still just glad that I got the chance to go over it all because now everything is like fresh in my brain. And when I say fresh, I mean fresh because my tests are tomorrow, guys. The marketing one is, I believe it starts at 8 a.m. Since it's not in person, I think I can take it at home. It just depends on when my second exam is. Final exam. 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. The final will automatically end at 10 a.m. so please be mindful of your time. My introduction to computers final 1 to 3 p.m. So yeah, I'm fine. I'll probably take my marketing final here and then I'll have time to still like get ready, eat some food or like take some food with me and then go to campus to take that second final. Right now I'm gonna cook dinner at 9 o'clock, shower and get to bed because I want to wake up early. Time block in between those 2 finals is good because I haven't had time to really review my notes for my computer class as much as I've wanted to. This is really just an example of how not to slay your finals. But we're still gonna, no. I'm not even gonna manifest that. We're gonna slay them, okay? We're gonna get great grades, okay? Manifestation. We're gonna be fine. Just, this is how not to slay the process before. Morning guys, here's the fit for my first final of the day. We're sticking with the pajamas for right now and I'll change later because it's currently 7 a.m. and I'm leaving the bonnet because again, 7 a.m. Check, 7:48. I have 10 minutes left. I was gonna put on jazz from Spotify, but now I'm thinking I want to check in and see how Lo-Fi Girl is doing because she's always studying. I never see Lo-Fi Girl take her test. You know, I never see her sit down and let us know that she's actually taken an exam. She's always just studying chronically forever. So we should all take notes from her. 8 o'clock. Let's refresh. There it is. I'll see you guys in 2 hours. She gave us 65 questions for 2 hours, but I still have 32 minutes left. So what I do during basically any test that I can do it, I write down every single question that I even have like a thought about. It might not necessarily be questions that like I was confused on, just questions that I just want to go back in general. I'll go back to each of these questions if I have time, and I have a lot of time to do that. I like to use up all of my time during tests, or like as much as need be. I don't really want to like rush out of a test, because then I'm gonna beat myself up if I rush out of the test and then I got a silly mistake wrong. Took me an hour and 43 minutes out of the 2 hours. I feel like I should get within the high 90s. We're crossing our fingers. I don't want to jinx anything. I'm not gonna get my grade back for probably another week or so. I'll let you guys know. If I don't tell you my grade by the end of this video, by the time I finish filming this video, then I don't know. I am gonna start studying for my intro to computers test, which that one I'm like I woke up this morning and I wasn't stressed about this one because open note. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just on the basis of my organization, really. I'm not necessarily stressed for my intro to computers one. I just don't know what to expect. I don't know what to expect. Do I fully understand Access, which is like the platform that it's heavily tested on? Not really. Not really. Not entirely. But I think I understand my notes. So I'm just gonna keep reviewing my notes. This one's gonna have less questions, which thank you. I don't think I could do 65 questions of freaking Microsoft applications. I can't. So it's gonna be 25 questions about Microsoft Access, 5 questions on Excel, 3 questions on Word, and 3 questions on PowerPoint. We're done, besties. We're done. Last test of the semester. Queen procrastinator here. Even though I don't want to claim that energy, okay, I'm not trying to put that in the atmosphere, but right now I just am feeling like all I can do exceptionally well is procrastinate on the things that I need to get done. It's currently Friday. I didn't fully update you after my final exam yesterday because I took my final and then I was supposed to be on like a productive kick after that. I did nothing else. I don't even know what I did when I came home from my final. I think I ate, I think I watched some TV, and I think I scrolled. The final went pretty well. I got a 95, which I'm happy about. If you've like watched my videos before, you know I normally talk about my relationship with grades and how it's just like I work through it because I put a lot of value on my GPA in accordance to like, not my worth, but I feel like sometimes in my brain it is my worth. Like I equivalate my GPA and my worth simultaneously. So I get really stressed out about my grades to the point that I don't need to, because like, again, at the end of the day, I'm a film major. And at the end of the day, like, yes, if I do want to go into like a graduate schooling or seek out more schooling, like my grades will matter for that, I guess. But realistically, like there's a small chance of that happening. I mean, I don't know, like that's the whole thing. It's like the whole thing is like never say never. So I obviously don't want to slack off and like tarnish my, you know, GPA and my grades and all of that stuff. But at the same time, I'm really working on like not overly being hard on myself and like being hard on things I can't control. That final, it stressed me out. It stressed me out. I was stressed more and more leading up to it. I was glad that I got there earlier and I went to the computer room to kind of just like go over. Like I think realistically, like the study guide was pretty helpful to kind of like brush up on key terms and stuff like that. But I think the most helpful thing was just going in there and just using the applications. Like I went on Access and I couldn't do that at home because for some reason, I guess like the Mac, I was able to download Excel, Word, and like PowerPoint and all that for my Mac, but you're not allowed to download Access on the Mac, and Access was the hardest one. So it's just been a little bit of a struggle because like I can't really like utilize it at home. I have to go to the computer lab in order to really try to play around with it. So I got like 30 minutes before the test to kind of play around with Access, make sure I knew where everything was, make sure I kind of understood what things did. So that definitely helped. But literally I opened up that test and I wanted like my breath was gone. It wasn't supposed to be like a hard test. Like people were finishing it in like 10 minutes. It was only like 38 questions. It was nothing too crazy. But I think sometimes I just overthink questions if they're not like super straightforward. I overthink the wording of a question, and I always think that somebody is trying to trick me. I always think that the teacher is trying to trick me. So the most obvious blatant answer always feels like the wrong answer in my head just because I feel like I'm being tricked. Okay, which is terrible because if it feels like the most obvious answer, like normally it is the correct answer, but I just kept getting confused on like the way the questions were worded. And then like, you know, so I was like stressing my own self out. I think I ended up taking like an hour and like 15 minutes. No, I think I just took an hour. I think I took an hour to finish it. I was like double checking, I triple checked, and yeah, I ended up with a 95. So that's that. It's time for me to start working on my script. The assignment for my Screenwriting 2 class was like you had 3 things that you could choose from. I actually don't know what the third was, but the first option was you could either revise the pages of the script that you have already done and like kind of like fix it up, change it around, and then just submit that, and that would be your final. Or you could add on an additional 15 pages and that would be your final. Obviously, I feel like the revising thing would have been the easier choice because honestly, like I didn't have that much to revise, so I could have gotten that done like really quick. And it still is an option. Like I feel like this class is very, not lenient, but it's not like I'm not super stressed about hitting the mark with 15 pages. I more so just want to make sure like I'm giving quality work because I actually like I really do care about the script, and this is a script that like I do want to complete. I have been talking about it all semester, but if you're new here, this is my Screenwriting 2 class, and it's an introduction to feature-length film, which feature-length film is just like your regular an hour and 30-minute plus films. So normally a feature-length film is around 100 to like 120 pages. We knew going into this class the goal wasn't to finish a feature-length film. It was just more so to learn how to plan out a feature-length film. So we were talking a lot about story structure, the 3-act story structure, inciting incidents, all the things, all of the writing tools. I have 24 pages of my script. I want to write enough to where I feel like it's a good stopping point where my teacher will feel like she I feel like has enough to go on, because I also will be revising a little bit. So I'm kind of doing like a little bit of a mix of both. can see it's dark, okay? The sun hasn't fully set, but it's almost there yet. Time check. You could guess in the comments. Do you want to guess in the comments? Flipping the phone, there's nothing on it. 7:59 is about to be 8 o'clock. I don't know why I'm covering it as if like there's anything on my phone. Like nobody texts my phone. It's literally just Spotify, but I was just trying to get you to see. Anyways, now it's on the ground. I've officially finished my chapter A, which is essentially, chapter A includes like the hook, inciting incident. What else does it include? What comes after the inciting? Like the inciting incident and then like the first pinch point. And the first pinch point is like the first little problem that our main character is going to come across after they know their goal of their journey, essentially. So that's where I ended off, and I feel like that's a good place to stop because it's basically like a, you know, a culmination stopping point. Like I feel like my professor will be fine with me stopping there because I still need to do like revision, go over, like I definitely have typos in here, and I also need to go over the notes that I got in class last time. The last time that I shared my newest pages with the class, I got a few revisions that I want to try to like work in. The main one, I didn't even explain. Well, I've explained the script to you guys before in a previous video because I've been working on it for the entire semester, but if you're new here, essentially think Salem witch trials, but not Salem, okay? Also not Salem period, 1800s. Think Bridgerton, but we're not in London, we're in Pennsylvania. And think Bridgerton romance, but make it sapphic. And like that's the vibes. And it's also like feminism and like female rage. And if you think of the story, the inspirations that I got to write this one was from a song called, what is the song? It's called A History of Man, but I forgot who sings it. I think Maisie Peters. That was a major inspiration. And then also the story of Medusa. That was also another, you know, so like women scorned, women burned by men, you know what I'm saying? Men doing women dirty, that whole vibe, and then women just getting vengeance. That's the vibe of the script, but in its entirety, it's essentially a queer romance, realistically, like an enemies to lovers queer romance with just like some added stuff into it, set in the 1800s. So one of my major notes that my professor gave me was I was struggling with like the whole like Old English aspects because obviously I don't speak in Old English and I just don't. I think for research purposes, I want to watch more films and like shows that like are kind of like based around this time because that will definitely help. She said that some of my dialogue points felt way too formal, as if it was like the Queen of England speaking, and some of it felt not formal enough. And I was like putting in 2024 slang that I didn't even realize was only 2024. So I need to go through and work on that and trying to find like a middle ground. With screenwriting, at least what I've found is like you just write so much less. You write so much more concise because at the end of the day, it's like, yes, they kind of have your own writing style, but they're stage directions, basically. Like you're giving directions to a director, to an actor, and to a producer. Your script is essentially a long form of instructions of what people are gonna do. So you want them to be as clear and not too like confusing, in my opinion, because like at the end of the day, the goal of it is to be filmed, not to be read, versus a book, you know, you go with like the poetic language and all that stuff because it's like that's an aspect of the literature that you enjoy, versus nobody's really gonna read the script unless they're like a film major and then they have to look up the scripts. I'll probably work on like cutting stuff down, making stuff more concise. In case you wanted to know, in case you were interested in writing scripts, I write my scripts in this application called, it's called Celtics. I haven't paid for it yet. I just keep using a different email address and getting a free trial because with each free trial you can write one script, and I've only needed to write 2 scripts for class. Technically, my college is supposed to like give us free Celtics, but I've never figured out how that like actually works. Like every time I try, it doesn't work. So I just keep making new accounts. I'm excited. Like I'm actually like really enjoying this script, and like I knew I would because I'm really into the concept, but I'm just excited. I think I'm definitely gonna like spend the summer finishing it because technically if it's like I have 34 pages, so I only have like 90-ish more pages to write, and then this will be like the first time that I've ever completed a story. I've come to a realization that I only know how to write one female main character, The side characters, they're so diverse. Okay, they're so like, their personalities get so different. Okay, but the female main character is just always a witty, sarcastic, closed off girl that struggles to be vulnerable with her emotions. And I just don't understand why I just keep writing the same female main characters, and it needs to stop because I have no range. Apparently I have no range. I listened to the Billie Eilish album. It was really quick. It was only 40 minutes because it was 10 songs. I enjoyed it, but like I feel like it's something I gotta listen to multiple times because Billie's music, it does start to blend together and sound the same when you're like doing other things and like not listening to it fully. But it's just like good vibes. Like it's just great, like vibey, sad girl music. When that finished, I've been listening to the Bridgerton playlist because they have like the best Regency instrumentals of like modern songs, and it was so fitting for the whole like Regency vibe of the story. I have my little Pinterest board going because you know, like I can't create a story without a Pinterest board. It's not too crazy. I just needed the vibes. These are the vibes. Got some pictures from the Buccaneers because that's currently my favorite Regency show. Of course, Anthony Bridgerton, because just why not? Kind of like the vibes I was getting to like think of the characters. This was the vibe I was getting because it's like kind of rural Pennsylvania-ish, 1800s, and they're not too wealthy, so I was kind of trying to figure out like how that works. Happy Saturday, you guys. We only have one more thing left to go, and I'm just so ready for this stuff to be done. I finally read the assignment for this Black history like paper. Basically, the class is called Black Political Identity in a Transnational Context. It's a long-winded thing to basically just say we learned about Black leaders that impacted both Africa and America. Finally read the assignment and realized that the paper is only 750, well, he said at least 750 words, so I'll probably try to get around like 800. That way it's like not right on 750, but like it's like a little bit more. And realistically, like that's something I feel like I could bang out really fast. Like the 1,000 was like, oh, okay, like that might be like a little bit, you know, those 200 little extra words would have been a little bit much of my brain. I feel like 800 words, like I can bang out pretty fast, but I'm finding myself wanting to procrastinate already because I just want to like chill on this Saturday. I want to just try to get this done. That way it could just be out of sight, out of mind, and I'm done with the semester and I can move on. And I finally let myself put on my book YouTubers, like booktubers, because whenever I'm like really busy with stuff, I don't really like to watch booktubers because then I just feel so bad that I can't read. And like watching everybody else enjoy books and then knowing that like I'm not gonna find the time to read makes me really sad. So I'm putting it on now because hopefully that'll be my motivator. Like, girl, if you finish this paper, you'll be done and you could finally pick up a book for like the first time in basically an entire month. We have 3 prompts to choose from, and at first I was pretty positive that I was gonna do this one, comparing Booker T. Washington and W.E.B. Du Bois. Realistically, I just wanna do whichever one's the easiest, and I'm kinda thinking maybe just choosing one Black nationalist leader to talk about might be the easiest thing to do. I have to include 3 sources. Most of them are videos. Anytime I write an essay, no matter how long or how small or whatever, I always keep a separate outline document and a separate like final essay document. I just find outlining is just extremely helpful. It makes things go by so much faster. We're really gonna cross our fingers. Not like cross our fingers. I'm gonna like try to be stern with myself and be like, you will finish this by today. Editing my hair, coming to you guys in real time to let you know that didn't get done. Okay, the Saturday I didn't, the essay hasn't been touched since the last clip of that. Okay, and it's currently Sunday and I'm getting this video up today and haven't touched that paper, but it's due at Monday at 11:59. So guess when I'm gonna start it? Tomorrow. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to work on my ways and we're going to get there. We're going to get there slow steps, but I'm still struggling with the procrastination elements. Don't mind the pimple. So that's technically
the culmination of my finals. School's over. I just got to finish the essay tomorrow, but you know what? I'll be free once that's done. I'll be free. So thanks for tuning in to my finals week, guys. Hope you're having a good one.